Is the veil the trap or the point? I watched a video. This is kind of a reaction video to what I just watched. But the author makes a very good point, Sasha. It's not that profound, but it's an interesting way to put things. About forgetting. The forgetting between lives, the veil. And maybe that's the whole point. You know, we give a lot of lip service to everything being one and we're all one. But do we really believe it at core? Because if we do, maybe forgetting is the point. Maybe you have to forget and let go. Because otherwise you're God. You know everything. You've got all powers. You can make little material worlds and all kinds of drama in them. Or you can go to the pure being. But God knows everything, you know, He can experience everything. So, how can God experience being a human? He can't. Except by forgetting. And this whole thing is a big cycle of forgetfulness. A big cycle of pretending that we're ignorant to being one. Pretending that we're all these little elements with no memory, all blank tablets, out there figuring it out for ourselves. And maybe that's the point. Maybe we are here to figure it out for ourselves. Maybe we are one self. Maybe it's the only way the self can contemplate. So the illusion of division, the illusion of forgetfulness, is all to obtain a unique viewpoint. Does an author start a story with the history of the world, the history of everything he knows personally, the history of everything he's experienced? No, he develops a character. He develops a situation. He puts that character in that place and gives that character things to do, things to experience, things to learn. So the clearing of the slate is necessary to have a fresh experience, to have an unencumbered experience, to do something new. And that's been another thing people have said to explain God and the cosmos, is that God got bored, you know, and sent all these things out and they all pretended to forget. There's a lot of stories like that. You've probably heard a few. They're true. They're almost, in fact, true. You can't pollute your experience with the memories of the past. At some point, you got to clear that and take a new, fresh look. I generally don't use the G word. I don't really believe in God, per se, as an entity, you know, of its own. I'm not sure there is such a thing. There is a universal consciousness. That's probably the closest thing we can get to such a concept, in my humble opinion. But let's take it as it is for a while. Let's say there's God. What can't God, in quotes, do? What can't He do? Can't have an individual experience. Can't feel pain, doubt, fear. God can't fear. God can't be disappointed. All these things we experience in life. Or maybe He can. Maybe it isn't a He. Maybe we are how He does that. Again, I don't really like the concept of God. Not denying God, but I deny the defining of God.